XRP sitting just below a 20-day moving average right after we get the 50-day moving average crossing above the 200-day moving average. A big deal on the XRP charts. That's not the big deal, though. That's not the big news. This is the big news. SEC versus Ripple. Judge okays more amicus curiae briefs in support of defendants. Now, an amicus brief is basically a brief brought into a case by a party not directly involved in the case. Two reasons for doing that: to introduce some type of new argument or to support an existing argument. That's why that's done. Now, this isn't the first time this is happening, but this is the big news today. And to kind of put some context to where this started and where this kind of formed, we go back a little bit. Just over a week ago, crypto legal expert says SEC being bombarded from all angles as amicus briefs pile up in Ripple and XRP lawsuit. I love that. Kind of like this army of data, this army of support entering into this case. And this is something, if you look back over the course of this case over the last years, this is something we maybe not even anticipated, especially for us outsiders. I haven't been tracking this case as deeply as I have been recently. It's become kind of important for me to track this, and I'm extremely interested. But this new army of information that's coming into, this new army of argument that's coming into play is new. And it gives some momentum, I think, to this case for Ripple. So this is what I want to just set some context real quick and go over. This is really important information. The two more parties are attempting to weigh in on the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's lawsuit against Ripple. Now, keep in mind, this is October 20th, right? So this is 8 days ago. The two new parties are Philip Goldstein, a managing member at the investment advisory firm Bulldog Investors, and Investor Choice Advocates Network, ICANN. In the proposed amicus brief, the parties argue that the SEC is relying on a vague term to regulate digital assets. Does that sound familiar? Not only with just the Ripple case, but just crypto in general, what's going on. The SEC, this is what it says, the SEC treats the term investment contract. And I just want to say this. Again, I say this a lot. Doesn't matter if you hold XRP. Pay attention to this. This is important. SEC treats the term investment contract as though it were infinitely flexible and applicable to all manner of investments. But the statutory source for the term investment contract gives no indication that Congress meant this term to be a catch-all phrase to capture financial transactions unrelated to any interest or instrument commonly known as a security. So that's in the proposed brief. This was 8 days ago. They also argue that Congress is still deciding on how to regulate digital assets. Citing 11 different pieces of potential legislation, the parties say the SEC has no authority to regulate digital assets until a consensus is reached. There's our guy, Jeremy Hogan, providing a ton of great content about this case. He says, and another one, right? And he's been tweeting about this case. And he also tweeted this. Now, this was 2 days ago. He said, all of these amicus briefs in support of Ripple. Doesn't the SEC have even one friend that will step up and support it? So that's kind of the point that I was just making a little bit ago. This army of information, this army of support coming behind Ripple. I think that's extremely positive sign for Ripple. I think it's a good sign for just the case for crypto as a whole, because this case, this Ripple SEC case, is important to the crypto space. So we want to see things like this happen. A couple of things I wanted to note on this thread. A couple of tweets kind of running through my mind as well. This guy, Jeffrey, says, hey, Hogan, have we seen those Hinman emails yet? Right? We've been tracking the Hinman emails, and he said we won't see them until probably January. So that's good data for me to have in the back of my mind, a question I think probably many of us have. And then this one, Philly XRP, does this just not give the SEC more time to delay as they need to look and reply? That's the thing. With these cases, it's like delay after delay after delay, stalling. That's the worry, because it's already been going on so long. It's like, when will this end? And we're going to talk about that actually in a few minutes. And Jeremy said they haven't requested any additional time or pages so far. So far, as of 2 days ago, SEC hasn't requested any more time or pages. But let's start digging in here. Here's the news from today. SEC versus Ripple. Judge okays more amicus curiae briefs in support of defendants. U.S. District Court Judge Annalisa Torres has granted the requests by Investor Choice Advocates Network and Spend the Bits to file amicus curiae briefs in support of blockchain company Ripple. It's a big deal. It's really a big headline. And here over on Twitter, James, another attorney, tweeted the actual documents. And so here's one. This is the I can document. And you can just see in the table of contents. And I'll put a link in the description to this information. You can read through. We just looked at partly what's in it in this article over here. It put a paragraph of what's in it. We just looked through it. Well, now it's here, and you can just see the SEC table of contents is relying on a vague term to regulate digital assets. Congress has previously considered and is still considering various options in federal agencies to regulate digital assets. The SEC's attempt to regulate digital assets exceeds its traditional authority previously delegated by Congress. This is an opinion shared by many people in the crypto space, clearly. And now this is an argument introduced into this case. And then we have this one as well. He tweeted out, and this is the other one by Spend the Bits. And you can see the document here and the table of contents. Securities laws do not apply. The Howey analysis, there is no common enterprise here. There is no expectation of profits from Ripple efforts. Decentralized blockchain technology is not security. So you kind of get some hints of what's in this document, but you can read through the documents. And I want to just put this out there. I was reading through just that first one, and it's kind of like, I'm not used to reading these documents, right? So I like following these guys on Twitter because they kind of offer more simple guidance to the non-attorney minded, and that's me, who wants to pay attention to the case, try and get an understanding of what's going on, but doesn't really, or is not really used to reading through documents like this. There's a lot in here. But so far, I think we've gathered enough information to basically come to the conclusion that it's pretty big. It's a big support for Ripple. And this all kind of leads to the question of, well, that's great, fine. These little wins are fine during the case, but like, when is it going to be over, right? And I kind of revisit this article, and this is an article. This isn't like most recently. I don't know actually the exact date here, but there's 2 points, right? Before we get to when it's going to end, it's going to end one of two ways. SEC wins, Ripple wins, right? So to really clear that up, if the SEC wins a case, XRP will be considered a security rather than a currency. It would be a security the SEC deems to have been sold unlicensed and therefore illegally. An SEC win would surely see the XRP price absolutely tank and will create a heavily armed precedent for the regulator, right? So this is going to create a precedent in the crypto space. That's why I keep saying it's not just XRP. Like you can dislike XRP as much as you want. It really doesn't matter. These headlines, these new pieces of news coming out, you should really pay attention to. I'm paying attention to them. And the support alongside the case, these supports of argument that we're seeing in these amicus briefs, important. An XRP win, conversely, would be seen as a huge win for crypto and might even spark an unlikely XRP-led crypto market revival in the very best, very hopium-filled scenario in the midst of an ongoing bear market. So, and that's kind of what everybody's looking for, right? Like just outside of this case, just these pieces of news coming out to kind of revive crypto as we just struggle our way through, even in a sideways manner in this bear market formation, right? These pieces of good news. This could be a piece of good news. Now, especially as we have these talks of recession throughout the year of 2023, what's in store for 2023? What kind of volatility is in store for 2023? And then we end with this question. Ripple boss tips, when SEC case will end. You can kind of scroll down to part of the article that I had highlighted, and it's no longer highlighted. But let me see here. So Garlinghouse told panelists at the DC FinTech Week conference that he expects the case against the firm to come to a conclusion in the first half of 2023, but admitted that it was hard to predict. The first half of 2023. And that was on October 11th, right? So this wasn't that long ago that he said that. And again, it's just like, you just don't know when it's going to come to an end. And so here we are. We're in this crypto space already. Outside of this case, all of us, we're crypto holders, no matter if it's XRP or other cryptos, but we're in the space and we're just wondering about when's the bear market going to end? What what regulations are going to come into play through different bills anyway. Like all of these other moving factors going on, this unknown territory as we get ready to approach and go into 2023. And we have the unknown of this XRP case, a case that really could set extremely important precedents for the crypto space as a whole. And here we are, and it's unknown, right? Brad Garlinghouse saying it's unknown, but he's saying first half of 2023. That could mean, 6 months into 2023. That could be basically another 8 months, right? Of all this ongoing back and forth with the SEC and Ripple, and these little arguments via these amicus briefs being introduced and coming into play. And all the while, here we are. We're in this massive, if we actually go to a weekly chart on XRP, massive consolidation. I mean, we're talking right here, this is the 2018 bull market high, right? So it's so interesting, and I said this in the previous XRP video, to see how XRP has just consolidated. It's even in my view, just the fact that it's going up against the SEC with this case, everything that's held over its head right now, it's I think, maintaining itself pretty strongly. And the upside here, and there's tons of risk, everybody, in crypto in general, let alone something like XRP, which is in this case against SEC via Ripple. And it's kind of like, it's unknown, it's risky, but the upside, I think, the opportunity, if you have that risk appetite, which I do, and this is what I'm documenting my approach here. I'm interested in the case for crypto as a whole, as a crypto holder, but I'm interested in the case now as well because just invested in XRP, it's kind of like I see some upside potential if this case goes well, if it continues to go well, and the support continues to grow for Ripple in this case. So here we are, though. You can just see on the weekly chart where we are consolidated like crazy on XRP, just below the 200-week moving average. Even in the short term, we have all these other things in play right now. Will this rally that's the equity markets are seeing, crypto markets seeing, will it continue with this kind of ongoing news of good support, the army of support behind Ripple? XRP might have a shot to really break above this 200-week moving average. Would be a really big move for Ripple if it can escape and get above that 200-week. We have the 50-week moving average right around 58 cents or so. So around 10, 11 cents above right now for Ripple. But I would just say, and I want to add caution because this is kind of where my head is at. We have hopes of kind of a dovish news, good news coming out of the Fed, right? In terms of interest rate hikes and people hoping they go a little softer and the markets react to that in a positive way. But with the recent good GDP numbers, that might not happen as soon as people are hoping it will, right? So if there's downside in the markets in the coming weeks, this 20-week moving average for XRP looking ready, right? That's around 38 cents. We've seen XRP make these nice bursts to the upside, see resistance at a 200-week moving average, and revisit the moving averages below. Here's the 20 and 50-week moving average that it revisited back then. Here's the 20-week moving average right now around 38 cents. I think to the downside, it's good to always anticipate moves like that. That's what I do. To the downside, we're looking at a 15+% move or so for XRP. Now, to the upside again, that 50-week moving average, big deal, around 58 cents. And if there's a rally for crypto, XRP could just, in this bear market, just continue to kind of just see this upward momentum as it prepares for 2023 and the things in store there. You go to a daily chart, we started here. This is kind of on the very short term. We had this 50-day moving average crossing above the 200-day moving average. And right now, on the short term, just resistance right where XRP is right now, right around 47 to 48 cents. On the short term, that's kind of an area to watch for. My concern on the short term chart is this. We have kind of this general area of lower trend line support. It's just a flat trend line. We have some wicks there that you can see, but flat trend line. We have kind of the bulls stepping in a little bit, trying to put in some upward momentum, stepping in stronger there, and then kind of stepping in here and failing so far at the 20-day moving average. It's not a very good looking head and shoulders, but it's definitely a potential head and shoulders. And we have a breakout target. What do you know? Right around 37, 38 cents. Go back to that XRP weekly chart. What's there? The 20-week moving average. The setup is ready on the daily. If crypto markets fall, equity markets fall, if the US dollar currency index gets some strength again, which kind of causes that downfall for risk on assets like crypto, this could be the case for XRP to fall that 15+% or so down to the 38-cent range, testing once again the 20-week moving average right here in green. That's what I'm watching, everybody, with Ripple right now, the Ripple SEC case, and obviously XRP on the charts. Let me know your thoughts about this. I think it's at the very least good news, right, in the midst of this case to see arguments like this presented. And I just want to say this: it's good news for crypto holders. Like crypto holders, the crypto space, this brand new technology, and all the innovation that wants to come on here and build and grow. It just needs guidance, right? And this case, whether it's how messy it's going to be or not, doesn't matter. It's ultimately going to provide guidance. And I like that. As somebody that's in crypto, that's what I want to see. I want to see more and more guidance. And this case will, one way or another, it's going to offer guidance and a more defining reality for the space. And I think that's important. So let me know your thoughts, everybody. Hit the subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.